Here's a video update for today. Got the body and everything back on the frame. Here's my project. Picked up this 1941 Chevy pickup truck. What I'm gonna do is chop it, notch it, build my own frame, use this donor car, use all the modern suspension out of it, and build it. Never done it before, never chopped the top. First time, so we'll see how it comes out. Solid car though. I used a laser level to kind of mark off my chop here. Went all the way around, went to the back, to the front, sides. Laser level is pretty nice. It shoots a laser all the way around and through the doors. So now what I'm going to do is cut a square, cut this window out in a square, pull that out, and then do my chop, and then put that window back in. I don't want to shrink it any, so pretty much ready to cut. Got the bracing in there. Alright, I cut the back window out. Got both doors cut and the back window cut out. I'm gonna start chopping it. Here's after the chop. Went pretty good. What I have to do now, if you see, because of the slant, I have to cut the roof. I have to cut the roof down the center and then weld the back on and move the front forward and weld the front on, and then you put a filler strip in there. You can see though, I mean, the cuts came out really good. That laser level really lined it up. You can see when I move it forward, it's just going to go right back in place. Really won't have much to mess with. And the good thing is I don't have to, like, you know, make relief cuts and mess with all that. I mean, I don't think I do, because it looks like everything's going to go right back in place. And in this skin here, the pieces that I cut out of the back, what I'm going to do is, what I've seen some people do online is they take this and they actually stick it down inside there and weld it in like that, like way down in there as a guide, and it strengthens it, I guess. So that's what I plan on doing with that. Then here's the back window. A couple little places I have to fix in here, but like I said, I'm going to take 2.5 out of here and then 2.5 out of here, and then it should fit right back in that opening and be the same stock size. So it's coming together pretty good for never doing it before. Alright, so here it is again. I cut the roof down the middle here. You can see I kind of got it propped up in there, but the only problem I really have is someone had just replied on my other post about cutting slots in the front to bend them in, and I guess I'm kind of going to have to do that right here, because if you see, it's just a little bit out too far. So what I'm going to have to do is just make a relief cut here, I guess, and maybe another one, and then just bend it back in here and then tack it, and it should, I mean, it lines up pretty good, so not too far off here and the other side. So I guess the same thing, I'll just, I guess, make a relief cut in here, one or two, just bend it back, tack it, and that should be good. I mean, it lines up pretty good. And then the back half, what I really have to do is take some, when I set, here's the back half, when I set it on here, it's kind of like there's too much material in the back still to get it to kick up right, probably because of, you know, the chop in the front. But so what I got to do is actually have someone help me. We'll lift it up here, mark it, take a little bit off the back, get it to sit where I want. And I don't know if, I don't think I have to make any relief cuts, because it's kind of sits right in there, you know. I might do it anyway just to make sure it doesn't mess with the roundness of the back. And that's about it. I mean, it's going pretty good. It's gonna be a little bit of work, but nothing major. All right, I got the pillars fitted. What I did was I just made one big relief cut right there, and then it lines up pretty good. I just stitched it in. Lines up really good actually. Nothing's off. What I had to do on this pillar was like it not only needed to be in more, but it actually needed twisted like clockwise. So that's why I made this big relief cut on both sides, and then it was pretty free right here, this pillar, and I pulled it in with I used a strap. I used that strap and I wrapped it around both ends from there to there, and then I just ratcheted it until they were where they needed to be. And then I tacked it. I got it in here pretty nice. I tacked this piece, and then it needed to twist a lot, like clockwise. So what I did was I took this pipe wrench and I just stuck it in there, and I pulled it and twisted the pillar, tacked it, and that's perfect. I did the same over here on this side. So all that went together, I mean, pretty good. There's really no difference in the line in there all the way around. So I'll just fill that with metal and weld it up, and it'll be like it was before I did it. Probably won't even be able to tell. So then the next is the back half. And I probably, like I said, I have to take some out of the back to make it sit right and level with the roof. So that'll be the next hurdle, and then I'll have to do the tops of the doors, and it's pretty much will be it for the chop. That's what I got done. Started to get this roof all put back in, braced it up so they're all even. It for the day. So I'll just fill these gaps with metal, line them up. I mean, they're pretty much lined up. Just fill those gaps, put the metal in this roof, weld it all up, put the back window in, chop will be done. All right, I made some progress today. I got all this stitched in, all the filler metal back in there. Looks pretty good. So it's all kind of one piece here now, which is cool. And then I stitched in almost all the roof. All right, here's an update. Got a lot done today, a lot. As you can see, chopped the whole front off the donor car. Here it is laying in a pile. Slid the whole motor and front end under this car. So this is kind of, you can kind of see what it's going to look like a little bit. The suspension isn't all the way down. It's all the way down, but it's on the cherry picker, so it lays on the ground flat. So, but it's definitely going to fit up in there pretty nice. So here it is. It's kind of a preview of what it's going to look like a little bit, but it's got to go. Engine and tran's got to go all the way up in there, so I got to cut all that out, move all that in there. So, and then it'll sit. Like I said, it's going to sit. That frame lays on the ground when the airbags are all the way down, and that cherry picker is laying on the cherry picker. But so that's pretty much it. This is the stance of it, which is pretty cool. And then the next thing is, you know, I'll start building my frame just like it is, just like that. Inside the truck, start building my frame. I got the firewall cut out. Got the whole front end up off of the hoist. Dropped it all down. Moved it all inside about to where it's gonna sit. Just put the hood on there so I can kind of get a look at what it's gonna look like. And there's how far the rear end sits back. If I use the drive shaft and I don't have it shortened. And that, I did the measurements with the rims I'm gonna put on it and the tires I'm gonna put on it. That's about right. So pretty good. I don't have to shorten that drive shaft or anything. It should go right in there. So, and there's how it's gonna look with the hood on it. Everything fits right up in there. It's amazing. All right, here's an update for today. What we did was we moved it in a little bit more. Everything fits in there pretty good. The radiator and everything's gonna fit in there pretty good. What we also did was we cut the hole, cut the floor, and we ran the drive shaft through here to see how long it is. And it's actually too long. So I was wrong. We're gonna have to cut it, get the drive shaft shortened, and move it up because this is way too long, way longer than I thought it was, but it fits up pretty good. We just made this cut, had it come through here. Then on the inside we cut the floor pan out and ran that up through there. So the next step is gonna be starting to make the frame. Really, I can't do that until I get my rims to mock it up because my rims are gonna be a lot bigger and everything's gonna be lifted way up. So, but everything fits, everything's coming together good. We started grinding some of this back window here, ground all this stuff out, all the welds down. So it's getting there. Next step is starting to build the frame. All right, time for an update. This is what I got done today. I'm working on the frame, mocking it all up. So I'll show you what I got done. So here it is. Here's what I've got of the frame. So up here, let's start right here at the front. So this is where my frame is going to meet my existing frame. I kind of just tacked it in there. So what I'm going to do is get a piece of plate and just cut a template and you know, cut a template so it goes over to here, and then have it arch down over this support, so it'll be one big plate in there, and that plate will, you know, connect to both of those. I'll probably get like, I don't know, 1/8 inch, something like that, and then I'll bring the plate across there, and then back here I'll do the same thing, you know, bring the plate to there, fill that in with the plate, and then, you know, just come around and make it look nice. So the plate will essentially just connect everything, and the sides will make it really, really, really strong. And then I'm going to weld those gussets in there, and then the same on the other side. And then I got my transmission mount in. Just took the existing one and cut it off the round bar, and then bolted it on, and then just put this piece in the middle there and kind of made my own piece. So everything's just tacked in just in case I have to change something. Then I'm going to put another support across like this down here. I just got this little piece of sheet metal tacked in to hold the spacing for now. And then over here, same thing, I'm going to weld those gussets in there after I weld the tubes out. And I have it coming up here like this on both sides and going across to the back side, and they're both even length, so you can kind of see here. What I'm going to do is cut this perch off because I have it to where it comes just like maybe 1/4 inch above the rear end there. So, and then the reason I did that and didn't come like way above that is because I want to make the bed, you know, low, still like a bed. So I don't want it all the way up, and kind of trying to save a little bit of space there. Here's an update of today's progress. I got the whatever you want to call that, wishbone or whatever they call that. Mocked up, welded. Well, it's not all the way welded out, everything's tacked in. And I started on the airbags here. I didn't have much time to work on this today, about an hour or two. This is what I got done. So you can see there's how the frame does look. And I'll show you the other side. I did the other side. I put a plate in here all the way across, welded all that out. I put the gusset in there, and then I actually took a plate up here and capped that and made it one plate that goes up through here and through here, and then where this curve is right here, I actually pounded it down, heated it and pounded it down in there, and then I welded there too. So I'll show you. Here's the before. This is the other side I haven't got to yet. And here's the after. So you see it's all one big plate in there now. And there's the gusset. And here's the piece I used to cap it all the way up to here. So this is one long piece that came in and went around the top here. Like I said, I welded all this, ground it down, smoothed it out, and then I heated this line right here and then pounded that down in there. You can kind of see, wrapped it around that frame there. So when I turn the frame, when I get the motor and trans out, I plan on, I'll weld everything flat, and then I'll turn the frame up on its side, I'll weld everything on that side flat, and vice versa. So I'm gonna weld all that stuff out then. Here's a video update for today. Got the body and everything back on the frame. Got all the suspension mocked up, everything's done, the shocks, the airbags, everything's buttoned up. The body actually has to come, like, I'm gonna put a 1/2 inch spacer off of there to space that 1/2 inch off the ground, and then I'll also level that hood completely out. And then I ordered some body mounts. I'm waiting on the body mounts to come in, and then I'm gonna start doing my floor. You can see in here, just start doing my floor across, make my tunnel over there. I have to get the drive shaft cut and balanced, and then start welding my floor pans in, and then start welding the firewall in. Here it is. I like the wheel covers all that stuff that the hood doesn't up in there, so that's pretty cool. Hood sits really good on there. Then I also have my exhaust headers up in there. You can see them right there. What I'm going to do is, to the frame here, is just get a piece of that flexi pipe and cut a hole and weld a nipple off the inside of there and run it to there with that flexi pipe. And then actually my whole frame all the way back will be my exhaust. And then what I plan on doing is somewhere, so the exhaust will come out, all this is empty, hollow. You can see I cut the insides out, so the exhaust will come up in here. I'm thinking of maybe putting a stop right here, a plate in here, and then welding a nipple here on the inside on the bottom. And then my exhaust, like my muffler, I'm gonna weld a muffler like right in here, and then have another nipple right here, and it stops right there, so there's no black pressure in between there, and then have it go right back out the back. So that's my next thing that I gotta figure out. Got my shocks mounted. Had to call a buddy of mine that's done this stuff before to kind of ask him what shock to use, and what I ended up going with, I had to measure a couple of them from AutoZone. This is a shock off of an '89 Toyota, the front end, and I measured my play. My play is about 5.5 inches. It'll go up and down. So this shock has about 6 inches, so it's perfect. It doesn't overextend. It goes all the way down to the ground, letting the frame sit low, and that works. So if anybody's looking for one, that's off of an '89 Toyota pickup truck, the front. The backs were way too long. So I got my bags installed. Everything's in there. Gotta put my air ride in there. Gonna put my gas tank in there, and then start making my bed. So the bed is really just gonna go right up against here. I'm gonna weld maybe a bracket across the side there, and then weld the metal right to that, and it's going to come up to just shy of this and then break over to there. And I think, I don't know, I've seen them and I've seen them come out like that little bar that comes across, come out across here, and then people have C-notched it around the rim because it's so low. And then I've also seen them inside there. So I'm gonna try to fit it inside there, angle it out, fit it inside there, and see how it looks. And maybe it'll be good. If not, it doesn't look thick enough for me, then I'll come out here and I'll C-notch the bed because it has that round bar on it, like a couple of the trucks that I've seen. So that's the progress. If anybody has any questions or comments or help advice, feel free to shoot me a comment.